believe. Now, today I'm going to present to you about a model. We call it Matumbawe Hai. Claim it because later I will ask you about it. So it's a scalable community-led model for coral reef restoration. We believe it can be scaled and used around the Western Indian Ocean. Now, and we are bringing to you a case study from our home, Tanzania. Okay. Okay. So starting with the problem or the background of how everything is being done, I think coral reef are very important. They only cover 1% of the world's ocean, but how how they are important is massive and really inspiring because 25% of the world fisheries comes from the coral reefs. And now back at Tanzania, coral reef restoration is, corals are very important for fisheries, but also biodiversity and the livelihood of the people. A lot of people there depend on fisheries. And there are challenges that corals face. Their natural existence is being threatened by massive events, as my presenter said. There are bleaching events, but also heat stress, and another notably challenge is us humans. Coral reef restoration are very threatened by anthropogenic activities. And now coral reef restoration or conservation has been here. It's not a new thing. It has been here for decades as conservation. From marine protected areas, they have been there and they have been protecting and limiting the fisheries in the areas. But now with the challenges that are increasing and the climate change, it's not really enough. That's why coral reef restoration as planting and everything is very important. And then there is this era that we're talking about now. And coral reef restoration isn't a small thing, as the last presenter said. There are ecological and operational challenges that face coral reef restoration. And on the ecological side, there is coral survival. Not all the corals that are being planted could survive, but also operational challenges. There are financial sustainability. Many coral reef initiatives are really donor dependent, but also very technicality. We need a lot of technology to do coral reef restoration, but also scalability. The scale of destruction isn't equal to the scale of what we are trying to plant, but also monitoring gap and skills gap, which is very huge. I will tell you a story. In Tanzania, we were doing some work, and a person said, we were telling them that corals can be planted. And the person said, no, they don't have to be planted. You know, they just exist there. So you can see that skills is really a gap in coral reef restoration. So at Action for Ocean, there is a method that we're using, and that is, we started coral reef restoration back in 2022, 2023, and then in a small town in Dar es Salaam. I think we all know Dar es Salaam, yeah? And then we, after some series of lessons, experience and learnings, we developed a model, and that model is called Matumbawe Hai. Can you say it with me? Matumbawe Hai. Matumbawe Hai. Now, Matumbawe Hai is a Swahili phrase meaning live corals or healthy corals, whatever you want to name it, but it's corals that live. Now, Matumbawe Hai model, we have been implementing it. It's a model that have 7 stages, and that model really have 3 pillars. That is coral reef restoration through cost-effective techniques, but also it also integrates economic empowerment, where locals are empowered to do coral reef restoration, but also benefit from things like ecotourism, but also village savings and loans associations and financial literacy. But also the model links fisheries management or fisheries co-management through what we call beach management units and collaborative fisheries management areas. Now, this model, as I said, it has 7 stages, and it also accompanies active coral reef restoration and passive restoration. And in active coral reef restoration, we're using coral gardening and transplanting. We use structures such as tables and frames, and the locals are the ones doing the work. At the Matumbawe Hai Model, have 3 main things, or which is first, the locals are the center, and second, we use low-cost materials that are found in the communities, but also there is an integration of passive. Sorry, next. As I said, we are working with beach management units and collaborative fisheries management areas that really manage the fisheries resources in their areas. Now, integrating all this gives a sense of ownership to the locals. And also, as of results so far, the model has been integrated in 3 areas along the coast of Tanzania, in Dar es Salaam, Mtwara, and Lindi or Kilwa, as it is shown on the map. And we have been able to tackle the skills gap. We have been certified just last month as the first dive center that is a PADI educational facility, which is not a small thing. As Nancy likes to put it, in Tanzania, coral reef restoration is very emerging, but also we need skills that can be replicated along the coast. Now, locals who are being trained by us in Tanzania, specifically our dive center is in Kilwa, and we have been able to train more than 40 locals, but more than 50 people have been trained under our ocean access program. And also coral survival, I want to highlight something here. So you can see these pictures. This is how Matumbawe Hai wants to be achieved. You know, from having just frames and structures, few corals that are being obtained through coral of opportunity, that also grow to make a massive ecosystem in the ocean. It's not a small thing, but it can be, it's real. These are pictures that have been taken from our work. Now, this is the work that have been done in Kigamboni in Dar es Salaam, and we planted more than 1,000 corals that achieved 80% survival rate, and they also survived the bleaching event of last year. So this is how Matumbawe Hai Model is being implemented, and it's really impactful. Also, the implication in policy and science, the model can be, provides that it proves that reef restoration can be both scientifically and socially inclusive, but also in the policy, it's important that the policymakers adapt these kind of models that can be used by locals, but also that can bring result to the Western Indian Ocean. Now, I said Matumbawe, and we say, Hi, Matumbawe. Hi, yeah, thank you very much, and that's me.